Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world two amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently, they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take 1 scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop. And if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you can take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community.
What's going on, PTG fam? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This episode is one of the best ones we've had in a long time. We just got back from the MAO NXL Major. We have Archie Montemayor, the event MVP, on the show. So yeah, of course it's hot. It's totally current. We had myself, Tyler, Archie, and even Matty Marshall calls in as a guest. Kyle Spickett joins us for a little bit. It was a lot of fun. We had so much diversity on the show. We talked about a lot of different things, and obviously we went over everything about the Philadelphia event. So for all of you PTG listeners, thank you guys so much. We're going to hop right in the show. Without further ado, here we go.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys, though. Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are fresh out of the MAO NXL Philadelphia Open. We're back home now. We got Archie Montemayor, the MVP, obviously Tyler Harmon, and myself. This was an event and a final that everybody has been waiting for, especially the whole PTG community for so long. And here we are. We have Archie. We have all of us sitting down to talk so fresh, so immediately after the event. Arch, what's up?
What's going on, man? How are you guys doing?
Yo, doing good. Glad to have you on the show. Yes, it was definitely the finals everybody wanted with a little bit different outcome. We did not fare very well in that finals match, and we got to be better. But congratulations to you guys and everything that you guys accomplished. And happy Father's Day to me. It's not actually Father's Day, but I just landed fresh off the plane, saw my kids, gave them a big old hug, and we're having some fun. We're so lucky to be able to play this amazing game at the highest level. And there's so many amazing stories from throughout the weekend that we're really
Yes.
excited to dive into, and just, all love for paintball and the game.
Yeah, 100%. So, first of all, I want to just acknowledge real quick how hard it is, because I've been in this seat actually about a year ago. A year ago, almost on the date where, Tyler had left the team, went to Heat, and beat us down pretty bad in Philly, same event. And, Monday morning, or I think maybe we did the show Tuesday, but you got to come on the show, and, it's for the people. That's what this show's about. This show's about the greater good of the community, and just, bringing content to all the listeners, all of you guys. So major applause, Tyler, one, for, being able to come on, and because I know how it is.
Dude.
It's tough sometimes. You just want to, relax and not really be on the mic.
No way, man. I wouldn't rather be anywhere else in the world than talking about paintball. It's all about brand new moments, man. The only way you move is forward. That's already in the past. Obviously I look at it through my looking glass, and I look at certain things, but it's all about brand new moments. So I'm just glad to be here. There's so many people that are interested in the game that we play, in the high level performance that all of us here provide on that paintball field. And to be able to really get into the inner workings of that, obviously we just had the Philly event out there for the NXL, and the grass was superb. It was amazing, really top-notch event out there.
Yeah, definitely a hard upgrade from last year. It's like Tom said, they want grass, and man, it was like super lush and thick. It was almost like just getting
almost
your gear
too much
back
grass
to the field. It was like kind of a little bit tough.
Yeah.
But no, the surface, honestly, I can't remember us playing on like a better surface in a while.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was kind of laughing walking around the first day. I was like, people are going to complain that there's too much grass at this event. And sure enough, I heard a lot of people were complaining there was too much grass. Why didn't you guys mow the grass? Why is it so long? Why is it this? I'm like, oh, come on. At what point are you just going to be okay? Are you just going to be satisfied?
Dude, it was so packed. There were so many people at the tournament.
Yeah.
That there was like parking going on way on the perimeters, and there was people getting ready in the thicket. I saw them. It was the tall grass out there, on the very far parking. And they were loving it. People running around, having fun, smiles, talking about, new stuff going on, new gear, new projects going on. Speaking of projects, Project G, y'all had some new stuff that y'all were working on. Those pants, I think, were a new deal out there.
Yeah, we got some JT pants that we're planning to release here in the next few weeks. We've got like a ton of stuff coming in the next like 2 months. We've got dye barrels, 2 sets of them. We've got project pants. We've got tank regs, 2 different like custom milled tank regs from Powerhouse. We've got some JT straps. We're actually like working on a force, like pretty much at the final details of that. Obviously that will take a little bit longer to come out, but yeah, we got a lot of stuff down the pipeline. So it's an exciting time for sure. And just trying to get through these, like the timelines on stuff, because things just take forever right now, unfortunately, with supply chain, and, you know, getting proofs takes a while, and it, God forbid something's not exactly the way you want it, then you kind of start from scratch and start all over. So, but nonetheless, it's been really exciting. It's been pretty cool. For me, we just did our Dynasty long sleeve thing, and so to see all the Champs Club members and the teammates, all sporting that this weekend was really cool. So yeah, that the project thing has been just phenomenal lately. We're just kind of looking forward to keep moving forward and coming up with good ideas and kind of shocking people with what we're coming up with next.
Well, you guys have definitely.
Yeah, the long sleeves were a big hit, dude. It was cool to see everybody wearing them at the event. I loved wearing the Blue Project long sleeve. In the Champs Club, let's talk about that for a second, Archie, because I think that's one of the coolest things to hit paintball, really. And at this event, it was extra special to me because we got to celebrate my birthday, and the Champs Club tent had that awesome little VIP area that, had a nice little off, the back corner viewing of the pro field. What do you think about that and everything that's going on?
Dude, I thought that was because I remember when you guys announced it last year at the tail. It was right around World Cup. Maybe it was a little bit before, or maybe after, but right around that time. And I was thinking, man, what a cool idea, And granted, obviously, like a team like Dynasty can pull that off because they've got 2 decades of fans, and obviously the name and the history of the team. synonymous with people really being longtime fans. So it works for that team, and it's just a really cool idea. And you have a really like supportive group that are real invested in the team, and they get, obviously we're doing the intel sessions, once a month, and they get like little gifts and stuff. Also, it's just a really cool thing to be a part of. I don't know. I'm just like such a huge fan, and I know each one of the Champs Club members, they all really, really adore being in that group.
Yeah, it's a great community, and it's so cool that often many of them help us in the pits. They're along with us on, throughout the whole process of the event. And we're really building, a family. It's the Dynasty family, like those Champions Club members and the people that are with us there. It's solid through and through. And they were a big part of the win. Every time we step onto that field and we compete, they are such a crucial part of those victories because they help us do our job without having to worry about, all the off the field stuff.
Right.
You cannot do it without the pit crew. You got to have
100%.
the top-notch pit crew. Otherwise, you can't even begin to get into those realms of being in the higher rounds because all those little details, let's just say there's 10 details that you have to hammer out. We'll just use an easy number. If one team has 8, 9, 10 of them hammered out and you have 7 or 8 or 9, you're putting yourself at a little bit of a deficit in those margins at the top level. There's no way you can compete. So like Heat, Impact, obviously Dynasty, and so many other teams in the pro level have great pit crews. But if your team doesn't, that's something that you really need to think about investing that extra money to make sure that it's dialed in so that you guys can be ready to go out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like it kind of started a long time ago with just like having coaches, like dedicated coaches, because back in the mid 2000s, that really wasn't that common.
That's
and
right.
All the top teams had a dedicated coach. And so, well, guess what? If you want to try to break into that, you got to have a dedicated coach, and they got to know what they're doing too. And so now, like it's unheard of for a team to even show up without a dedicated coach. You know what I mean? So, and now the next iteration of that is like a really well-oiled machine of a pit crew, and yeah, obviously we all know how much help that is because, not having to deal with that. But if you're a team that's trying to come up, make a name for yourself, and you don't have that, there's just more on your plate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Get your buddy or significant other, say, hey, we need your help in here. And it really is a game changer because the less that you have to think about those little details, the more you can focus on the game and the way the flow of the game's going, your opponents, and all those really intricate details that are very important. Like we talk about, paint, air, coach, getting straight to the point and being efficient. That way that when you get out there on the field, you know exactly what to do in all situations out there. And that starts in the pit. That's where it all starts.
Yeah, the pit is I mean, it's just crucial. You hear teams talk about it all the time, how important it is to take care of things like paint, and not have to worry about all of those little details. It's so important to winning. It's so important. Dynasty is very lucky. Houston Heat, I see your guys' pit. I see how many of you guys come through looking like a bunch of soldiers. Everybody you guys are one team, right? Like the top teams have that, right? And I encourage any divisional team that I work with to try to figure out some system of a pit crew, have some sort of system in the pits so that you guys can make the game easier for you. Because the worst thing that you could have happen is that, we talk about paintball and variables, right? And there's variables that you can control. Things in the pit, that's 100% in your control. There's things that are always going to be 100% in your control, and you have to execute those as well as you can. If you let those slip, then the other stuff that's up to chance, if it doesn't go in your favor, you're at even more of a deficit. The things that are 100% in your control, you have to make sure that you manage correctly, and it definitely starts there. So again, just major shout out to all the Champs Club members that have been helping us in the pit. It's been really awesome to be on this journey with you guys, and we really, really thank you guys.
Yeah, you even got like a portion of the field. Can PTG get a portion of the field? Can we get like
Shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if the league tries to kind of maybe cash in on selling that to sponsors or I guess it could be PTG or another company or whatever, because there's definitely room for it.
That would be pretty cool. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. It seems like paintball right now is pretty exciting. I found out, were these games all free on YouTube during the event?
I have no idea.
I think there was a portion of time where they were free.
Yeah.
I don't know the details on that, but I think that is correct. That's
Yeah, I mean,
like a rumor I heard. I don't know.
Yeah, so Marcelo, I think what I was saying this weekend was like the league and Go Sports are run like a government, just not very efficient, you know? Because if that was the case, why wouldn't we know that so that we could promote it and get people actually to get a lot of eyes on it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got it.
I do.
Yeah.
Totally. I
'Cause, like,
wish we had known that because I
we
found out, I
all-
think.
Right. We all have friends that don't like maybe play paintball, and also like maybe want to watch it, but don't want to subscribe to something to do that, you know, for a day.
Mhm.
And whereas if we would have known ahead of time, like, hey, look, this is on YouTube today for free, like that's quite a bit. It's a game changer, you know, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
I wonder if they gave it away for free or if someone pirated it and then that was the rumor that got spread out there. I honestly
That might
don't
be.
know.
I did hear that it got pirated.
Yeah.
I heard that
Yeah.
from somebody, but then I also heard from Dalton. Dalton's the one that told me. He's like, yeah, all the games are live on YouTube, and he likes watching it on YouTube because when you can rewind, and when
Right.
you're actually watching Go Sports live, you can't rewind, which is a bummer. So you have to wait
Right.
until it's uploaded later to rewind. But he's like, no, I just watch on YouTube. It's been available all day. So maybe it was pirated. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would be a bummer for sure.
But if it's pirated, that means we've made it.
Oh my
Somebody
gosh.
went through the trouble. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I guess I'll ask Matty tomorrow because I know he's
Yeah.
gonna be on Spick and Span, and I'll probably be in there, you know, whatever, just hanging out for a little bit. But
Nice.
yeah, I mean, if that was the case, why not give us a heads up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the
100%.
people who are posting it on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because I
That's
think that if it is getting pirated, we definitely got to make sure that we seal up the hole or whatever, you know, because that's definitely money that goes straight back
I don't
into
know.
paintball.
Let it rip, dude. More people that are
Yeah.
watching is better. That's my feeling of it. Archie actually had a great concept, and I've always thought the reverse. But I think Archie's actually onto something a little better. I've always thought, why not make it free all the way up until the semifinals? Give away all the prelims, give away even the first, the wild card round Sunday morning, give away even the second round, and then semifinals and finals are behind a paywall. So you buy in and you're invested. Archie's thought was have everything behind the paywall other than the final match. Give away the final match. And
That's
I kind
what
of
everybody
agree with
wants
that.
to see, dude.
Yeah, I
Share
kind of
that.
agree with that because I actually think that a lot of people would still pay for everything else because they want to watch paintball all weekend long.
Right, exactly.
But a final match that's free, you're going to capture like somebody that might just be strolling YouTube is like, oh, this is the championship round. Let's see what this is. Maybe you're going to get more views that way. I really like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can lean on them a little bit, but I mean, to me, it makes sense, And again,
Yeah.
like ultimately, what we're trying to do is get people to watch, And again, if we're gonna like really break out, it's not just gonna be the people in the sport, So
Right.
It definitely has to be streamed to the masses, like through Twitch or something. A portion of it, we've got to get involved in every single facet of, the web. Any way that, however it's getting consumed, we definitely want
Yeah.
to be in those markets.
Yeah, and most people that like don't know about paintball aren't gonna pay $8 to watch something they don't know anything about, but they might see it on their feed and say, "Oh, what the hell is this?" and then go, "Oh shit, this looks awesome! Like, I want to check this out."
Yeah. Yeah. I think that maybe doing like Friday, Saturday, and then having Sunday behind the paywall or something like that would be really cool too. And I think giving away the championship game, that's the juice right there. That's the one that everybody wants to see. They want the finals match. That's what they want to see. So you give them that and you're going to get a lot of eyes tuning in.
Yeah, I think so. I'm curious to see. We got to talk to Bart and get a little more connected, I think. Because I know Bart's trying to pursue anything that he really believes is going to, get more exposure to the sport through Go Sports. I mean, that's why he bought the company. So I believe that his intentions are in the right place. I really like Bart, really trust Bart. I'm happy that he bought Go Sports. So it would be nice for us all to kind of get on the same page and make sure that moving forward, if there are free games, we should all, professional paintball players, divisional paintball players, it really is our responsibility to share
Sell
that
out
and
on
make
it.
sure, 100%. It's our responsibility. You know, we always talk about wanting paintball to make it big, wanting paintball to do this, and why doesn't the league do this for us? Well, how about what can we do for the league? What can we do for the sport? You know, and
Dude,
so
that's a really good, like, that's one of the messages I like to hit on a lot, Marcelo, is that, like, dude, a lot of people in paintball are just constantly with their hand out, and instead of like trying to feed people, you know what I mean? And
right.
when you're out there, like, with you out there giving stuff or feeding it, you don't realize how fucking fast and how much multiplies it comes right back at you, you know?
It does, totally.
Dude, hashtag provide. That's what
Yeah,
it's all about.
it's like a scarcity mentality, you know? Like, if you're only looking out for you, you know, it's just not that's your mindset's always going to be that way. And you don't realize how limiting that is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a mantra that I held throughout the entire weekend was provide. Like be a provider, provide strength, provide for my, provide. And like when you shift into providing instead of like taking or trying to seize things, then it opens up so many different chambers. Then you
Big
see
time.
it's so much providing going on. Tons of providing happens. And that's like there's a big shift that, a lot of paintball teams I know you go through. There's a lot going on in a paintball match, and there might be things even away from the paintball match that come into the paintball match, and there's so much intricate, layers to a game of paintball. And when you go out there and you provide for your players, it completely changes when you hold that energy moving through. And I know as top players, that's something that you see the pro teams, they're providing. Everyone's looking to, make things happen for each other. And if you want to take your team to that next level, you got to definitely be out there providing for each other.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to not what can you do for me, what can I do for you, right? And I've always looked at paintball that way. Paintball has inherently done more for me than just about anything else in my life. And so I feel it's only right to try to do whatever I can to give back to the sport. And, there's a little bit of selfishness in that too, because I know the more that I give back to the sport, the more it's going to give to me. That's just the way it's gone. And that kind of touches on what you said too, Archie, if you put it out there, give it away, it comes back. Tyler, we've talked about that many times. It's creating win-win situations is definitely just, the way to go.
Yeah, big time. And also, like, when you start looking at how you can, like, for like what Tyler's calling, like, provide for others, you start getting outside of the box and you start becoming more creative, and that in itself helps you in everything else you do, and that's
totally.
It's such a powerful thing, but a lot of people don't like really have a hard time understanding that, but it's a message like I just truly believe really strongly in.
Absolutely.
Wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Yeah. Arch, real quick, man, I want to dive into a little bit of your performance at the event. As a teammate and a good friend, it was just awesome to watch. I think I even told you the way you played in Dallas was like special. The rest of the team kind of, in my opinion, if at least one or two of us would have played a little better, we would have been there on Sunday, and who knows, we probably could have went on to go pretty far in that event. But you showed up then, and you showed up again in Philly. What's been going on? Because honestly, like you've been playing in another gear. Not that you didn't have this gear, obviously, that's not what I'm saying, but you've definitely hit something recently. What do you think that is?
I mean, I don't, to me, I don't feel like I'm like on a whole other level. You know what I mean? It's not like I've played this good many, many, many times. I mean, I've been, certainly on X Factor, there's been, I know of at least like 6, 7, maybe 10 tournaments where at the end of the day, Ryan is like, dude, I'm sorry, because you played incredible and we just weren't all there for it, And it's just, that's fine. That happens. And that'll happen to any top player, on any team. But more recently, and certainly like this whole transition to this team is like totally filled me up. And this kind of, I don't know that I've ever been believed in so much, and also at the same time, it's a huge opportunity for me to really make a statement, and my role on this team is completely different too, in the sense that I don't have to worry about shit other than trying to be the best player that I can be. I don't have to spread myself thin worrying about XYZ, every other player on the team playing their spot the way they need to be playing it, or worrying about the kind of giving as much positive input as I can on our game plans or strategy or scouting or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I get to, for the first time in my career, basically, or certainly in like at least a decade, I get to worry about just trying to play as good as I can play. That's it. And that, in my opinion, is a scary thing because I'm not distracted. I am all in on just trying to be the best player I can be.
Well, it's been showing, man. It's been a pleasure to watch and be a teammate recently. Again, we got a glimpse of it in 2019. We got to play overseas, but this last weekend, dude, such big moments throughout the whole event, man. And that's rare, like you said something in one of our conversations about players, right? And is that player actually good or is it circumstance? And it really that's something I've always understood, but you put it in kind of layman's terms, right? To where you could just process that well. And it's, Tyler, you're one of the players that creates things, like I think all three of us can say that for ourselves. There's a difference. Right. You can create opportunities out there. And then other players, they might get the highlight reel. They definitely will. They can get kills. They're the attackers, or, they do flashy things and they appear to be good, but to be able to really create and dictate the pace of a game and impose your will and control a game, that's a whole nother level of paintball. And it's a form of mastery. Not many players can do it. And you see players, you kind of go through phases and you go through waves of different teams that do it, different players that do it through certain eras. Can you talk a little bit about like how does if a player wants to take that leap into that realm, what do they need to do? What do they strive for? Is it drills? Dude. Is it thinking about the game? Is it experience? Is it all of it?
I think it's easily answered, man. You have to be a student, man. You have to understand every situation out there as good as anyone else. And until you understand that, you're not going to be that type of a player, right? I mean, like everybody wants to be the guy on a team, right? Everybody wants to be that. But on every team, there's usually only one or two of those guys. What separates those guys from the guys that aren't those guys? And honestly, it's just the work, the dedication, the time spent studying, deciphering everything, really looking at points and figuring out, is this the way to do that or is this the way to do that, right? And over time, you're just building up your little Rolodex in the back of your head of, this is that type of scenario, and this is what you might want to do. And when you get out there and you play, you have to be comfortable enough in what you're doing to kind of see things as they are instead of, getting kind of overwhelmed, right? Being confident and comfortable to play the point, see things as they really are, and then you can recall those memories of decisions and thoughts that you've already hashed out, and that's how you get into that like kind of flow state, is by not having to think about the stuff in front of you. It's already decided. You're just out there reading, reacting, and seeing what's available to you. You know what I mean? But you see it all the time where guys, they're playing and they're so overwhelmed and they don't quite know what to do. And that's what happens when people make mistakes when they're in that mode, right? But if you already know what's going on, all you got to do is be out there playing, and whatever's happening, you should already know kind of what you're going to do if certain things happen to unfold, right? I think that's, for me, 100%, dude. I was a student of the game for so long. I mean, every point, and I've said this like many times in interviews, but every single point I played from like 2005 probably until about 2013. I mean, practice, tournament, no matter what, every single point I played, I dissected what I did, what I could have done better. If I had done something better, what a team would have done to stop that. And if they had done that, what would I have done in that moment, right? So not even just what I did and what I would have done, but even playing devil's advocate to that and answering that question, right? And you do that for a few seasons at a time, and you start to realize that this game is riding a bike. You know, you've processed all the information already. You've already done it. You've done the hard work. Now all you got to do is just be in the moment, in the present moment, so that you can make those decisions and create something for yourself, you know?
Yeah, hardwired, just completely hardwired. And you sound kind of like Bob Long a little bit there, because he, even in the woods ball days, he, on the episode we had with him on here, was talking very similarly to the method that you're using there, where, you know, playing the opponent, seeing how through their eyes and how he would stop himself and then moving through that. And it's so cool to see him talking about that from the woods,
straight up.
then you talking about that, you know, in its current format right now as we're present 2022, and just the similarities and how great players of the game were able to decipher that by really doing the mental work and hardwiring yourself with all of those different scenarios and seeing it from as many positions as you possibly can to be ready for everything you can. You're never going to be 100% prepared, but you can damn near get close to it. You know what I mean? You can be right up on it. You can have every detail possible that you can muster out dialed in, and then just keep working from there. It's like a piece of music, you know, you're dancing with it.
Yeah, I love that, Ty. I mean, Archie, I don't know if you happen to listen to the episode that we had with Bob Long, but
I haven't.
You know, whoever has not listened to that episode needs to go back and listen to it. I think it was, gosh, it was early on.
That was a good one.
I'm actually trying to find it right now. It was like episode 60 something. But his explanation of how they used to walk fields in the woods was so relatable to how you can become a high level player today. And it's exactly what you just said, Archie, of like, okay, if I do this, how would they counter? If they counter that way, how would I react? And then if I react that way, what's their next move? And then what's my move on top of that? Right. And I think he said, like, almost verbatim, is the deeper you go, the better chances you have of winning. You know, the deeper you go in that process.
100%.
So powerful. And that is the thinking. And, you know, you kind of grilled some of us, you know, in our, after our practice Thursday, and about exactly that, you know, like, we're not thinking about this enough, you know, and you're absolutely right that, like, that's such an important part of the game. When the layout releases, we're all in. Leading up to that, thinking about paintball, but especially when the layout releases, like, I'm thinking about all of the possible scenarios. Okay, if I go here and I shoot this player, what's my next move? If I go here and they make it here, what do I need to do? You have to think like that. You have
100%.
You have to prepare yourself mentally, because what you said is so powerful. The work is already done. If you're still trying to figure it out when it's time to perform, you're toast. You're too late. You're too late. The work has to be done, and you have to be a reactive product of everything that you did during your preparation process. You know,
Exactly,
and that's
right,
something.
dude.
Yeah.
Very rarely, and I mean this, is a team gonna win based off of what they did in that fucking match? Honestly, like, it's really about all the work they did before that.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and so your results really are going to be really closely dependent on how much effort you put in before that. I mean, it's a fact, you know. And so I just know, for, you know, when I was younger, for sure, it was just something I took really seriously. I mean, I wanted to be the best, you know, so I took it that serious.
Yeah.
What month or like zodiac sign are you?
I'm Pisces. I'm
Pisces.
March 19th. I'm actually right on the cusp. I think
March.
That's
That's my dad too. Mr. Sergeant Robert Harmon, Pisces. Yeah. That's amazing, man. Such valuable insights, and that's really what it comes down to, is, you know, taking it as serious as you can. For even divisional players out there, you get any opportunity you can to look at that layout, to look at any just brainstorm, put it in the team chat, ask good questions. You know what you get is good answers. You got to be putting that out there and really being open to that creative process. Otherwise, you're, like Marcella said, you're going to be at a disadvantage when those moments arise. You know, you got to be prepared for everything.
Yeah. And you know, another good point to bring up about this is like, you know, if you aren't seeing tangible improvement in even a quarter of a season, you know, a 3-month span of time, then more than likely your effort at practice is not what it should be. I mean, there's no reason that anybody that plays competitive paintball can get significantly better in a year. And
your process could be bad too, right? Like I think you could
That's
have the effort, but
right. But yes, exactly. Or it's not efficient, right? That's probably a better word for it.
Yeah.
Your effort isn't very efficient. And if that's the case, if you're not seeing tangible improvements, I would start questioning what you're doing, right? Because, dude, if you put in efficient effort, you're gonna see results in anything you do. And the more you question what you're doing, you start finding better ways to do it. And once you get started down that path, then you start being a master of efficiency and a master of time, right? And when you're a master of time, dude, you just start just gobbling up everything. You know what I mean? You start picking up things so fast, almost instantly. You know what I mean? And that's when things really get going for you.
Mm-hmm. Arch, what's it like being Dynasty's lead snake guy now?
Dude, I forgot I told somebody this over the weekend. I'm like, man, if you would have told me like a few years ago in the tail end of my career that I'd be playing for Dynasty and playing the snake one, you know, and winning an MVP doing it, I would have said, you're crazy, you know? But I think it's it's just interesting. I think it's ultimately like I am going to do what's best for my team. And if that means I got to play any position, then I'm going to go play that position.
To me, it's such a testament of the highest levels of paintball IQ, right? Because we somewhat package it together in Orlando, and it's watching you do it at this last event was even more masterful because you didn't play it like any of the other lead snakes did. And you didn't need to because you dictated the pace. And so what were we talking about before? Like that is, to me, that is the key of a elite level player, a titan. You choose how fast you're going to play a side. You choose how fast the game is going to be played. You choose what's going to happen. And so you played it at the pace you wanted to play it. You controlled that side, which is, it takes such a high level of IQ to do, man. And, you know, obviously I'm your teammate, so I'm probably biased, but it's cool to see. And it's also good for paintball because I think it can break the mold of players that think that I can't do that. I can't play the snake. I'm not the snake player. I'm not this guy. Listen, if you understand the game of paintball, which you should, if you want to play paintball, you need to understand the game of paintball. Tyler and I talk about this all the time. Don't understand just your position in the snake or the Doritos or the bag.
Right.
Understand the game of paintball. Learn. Be a student of the game of paintball. There ain't no reason you can't play the snake and dictate how that side goes.
Look, I am 36 years old, right? And this season is the first season I've ever played a tournament as the snake one. And
you did run a little goofy right one of them. I got a clip of you running a little goofy into that thing, getting shot in your loader, looking like a bozo. Why didn't you dive into that thing?
So actually, I dive differently than most players, and there's a reason for it, and it's in my opinion well thought out.
Wow. Okay. Are you willing to share?
No, I'm not.
Damn, I'm gonna have to get this intel off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this intel off.
You guys that know why, but
okay,
I'm not gonna out myself.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Well, there's a nugget there for all the listeners. Archie's not going to give it to us. I respect it. It also is in my best interest not to push on it. So next subject.
Yeah, the snake side for Dynasty, you guys had 4 players essentially that you could rotate in and out of there, including Kyle, who you guys just picked up. it was Ryan, Arturo, Archie, and Kyle. I think that was the 4 that you had running that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see, just the way that each one of you has a different style, a different cadence. And
Yes.
I really like the bit that you talked about is dictating the pace, and it doesn't have to be played conventionally. Everything is everything. It can be whatever you choose for it to be. If you play the instrument of the game, however you choose to design that, because the game has a lot of similarities to like an orchestra or a piece of music. There's these riffs that are getting thrown here, riffs, and then you come in with the ba 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 ba, whatever, and it's just putting that piece of music together with cohesion with everybody, and then executing, and there's a lot of layers to it, but it was really cool to watch that.
Yeah, what I like to call like paintball style, or my paintball style rather, would be like very well thought out creative expression.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do things
that.
the way that I perceive them working out in my favor the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I come up with those things is based off of what I've seen over years and years and years and years, and also playing my strengths in my favor, and maybe my weaknesses, a little further out from me, right? So understanding yourself and using your using your strengths and really putting those at the forefront of wherever position you're playing lends itself to you having a successful point, match, prelims, Sunday,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And thankfully I've got a pretty good memory, so I've got a lot of kind of stuff in the bank there to choose and call upon.
Yeah. And Kyle, that was his first tournament with Dynasty, a new squad. I'm sure he had a lot of fun out there. What was the sentiment with Kyle being a part of the team? How was all that?
Dude, Kyle's the man. I think everybody was so happy to have him. Yeah, I mean, it was so glad. I mean, I know I'm really happy that he's on the team again. And obviously I played with him in Europe with Marcelo. And Kyle's just a really unique and special individual. He's hilarious. Him and Dalton together are just like two just clowns, it's just like never a dull moment with those two. And so the energy is just really, and it's kind of crazy because the energy's been super solid all year, and obviously even towards the tail end of last year on the team. But it just kind of seems like we've got a really good thing going right now, and adding Kyle just only strengthens that.
Yeah,
Kyle's the man.
Having Kyle back, to me, I sent him a nice message personally today, just of how happy I am to have him back. It's like it just feels right. It almost feels like your family member is getting back from deployment or something, and they're like home with you. And Kyle's been one of my best friends for a long time, and so to have him back on the team is fantastic. But even more so, I thought he played amazing. When we got to the event, first thing Friday, he stunted right out the gate. He really showed up. So I think he's going to be able to grow with us a lot. And as we integrate him more and more into the team and, the system, I think he's going to be a huge weapon for us. I think Kyle has like many levels that he can still unlock. He has so many tools and such a great skill set that he can really, I personally think he can transcend into another level.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I completely agree. Like that's one of the things I look forward to most. And obviously talking about my role on this team in the sense that I don't got to worry so much about all the strings or a lot of the strings, and like one of the things that I want to do on Dynasty is to help develop guys and spend some time doing such, and like, I completely agree with Marcelo. Like Kyle, he's got an unlimited amount of potential and he's already such a high level player. I'm really kind of excited to see where he ends up, even just before the next event,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's It's a good time to be a Dynasty fan. I'll definitely say that, because it looks like the team is poised for a long time with some of the pickups. Even Damian, shout out to Damian. He got some points out there. What match was that? Fucking Dalton. He like bruised his knee. He slid into something, bruised his knee, and he's like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done for this one. So
Man, I don't
Damian,
know.
yeah, it was the infamous match, I think. I think it was the infamous match. But Damian came in, and Damian played well too. The points he got in, he played well, right? And so I think right now we have a really good mix of old and new. The old can kind of carry the ship and help teach the new, and the new. I mean, look, the goal is for a long-term situation here where Dynasty is on top for a long time.
Well, we're chomping at the bit. So
I know, dude. I know. We're
ready.
going to get into that right now. We're going to get into that, T, because actually I do want to talk about you guys in Philly too, and then we'll lead up to the final match, because you guys came out super slow and weren't looking that great. And then on Sunday, you guys looked scary. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. Like Sunday, when as it went on and we saw you in the finals, in my mind, I was like, okay, these guys look really good. This is going to be one hell of a match. You basically did a 180. So I want to talk to you about why that was. What happened? Why did Houston Heat come out slow? And you guys were in, I think, 3 overtime matches. Is that right?
Dude,
in the prelims? You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Like what was going on there?
Just playing through the situation, still, getting everything dialed in, hammered out. And on Saturday, we definitely, I think, clicked and really knew the necessary steps that had to be taken if we wanted to go deeper into the tournament. And that's what you got to do in sports. You got to be growing and building the whole time through. Obviously playing your heart out, giving everything you can to the game, and just continuously, working to be the best teammates you can be out there and try to provide to get that win. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and obviously you guys not having Fedorov, right? I mean, that's obviously not what you guys are used to, and those are both like key parts of the team for sure, right? I mean, no doubt about it.
Dude, we're missing 2 Pistons from the machine,
Right, exactly.
Dude, Fedorov is the man. He is such a star straight up. When he's out there, he's one of the most elite paintball players to ever do this. The guy just dances out there, and he plays at a very high level. And then is like just a machine up the middle and getting creative and connecting with his teammates and really facilitating a lot of cohesion with the team. So we definitely missed having them out there, and we can't wait to have them rolling into the next event, get the Pistons back rolling in there in the machine. And
I think the cool thing for you guys, at least for me to see, was like for Devin to be, getting a significant amount of reps. He played great. You know what I mean? Like I saw him play a lot of really good points. And obviously you guys have a really talented roster, and we all know how it gets when you get deep into a tournament and every point's super important, and you go with your horses, you know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. And it takes a lot of time for like somebody that's kind of on the outside edge of that, like starting 5 or 6, to really get significant reps. So that was really cool to see, in my opinion.
Devin is the man. He's been working so hard and on his health, the game itself, doing lots of reps, and we're stacked from top to bottom. So we're just hungry to get after it and keep working hard. The pro level competition is extremely steep these days. Everyone is really hungry, working hard. So you got to be getting the reps and just doing, like we talked about, all the extra little details. All the extra effort is going to show itself when it comes to Sunday and moving, deep into tournaments.
Yeah, Ty, but what do you think was the switch? Because again, you guys, the prelims were a battle, and maybe that's what it was too, right? Like that's always good. You come out of the prelims, a bunch of grinder games, you got to win overtime points,
right?
But you guys handled Impact, on Sunday, and Impact looked really good. I thought that they had the field figured out pretty well. I thought they were playing well. I don't agree with how they're running some of their things. I don't quite need to say. I don't think anyone needs to give them advice on getting better, because the roster they have, they should be in the finals every single event. But what was the switch there? Because that's a big match. That's a huge match. And, you guys take them down and move on without 2 of your stars. You know, like what was going on there? What was the conversation? How did that happen?
Well, you guys know this. The pros know this. On these layouts, you got to press it, and you got to be, being a good teammate and really relying on each other for information and cohesion. And when those things start to turn, as you all know, you start to get good production, and just making sure that you're applying yourself in the correct way on each particular layout, because they're so unique, and making sure that you're playing the design, playing the framework the way that it's meant to be played. Each field has a unique cadence to it, or a rhythm, a flow, and you've got to understand the cadence of each field and how that body of work is going to move, because it's essentially it has to function properly. If one of them's out of line, then the composition won't sound right or look right, so you just have to make sure it's all dialed in.
So there was like no major adjustment or big conversation to kind of,
Well, I
turn
think
things around.
I went down the snake a little bit more. We pressed a little bit more.
Right.
There was a couple different things that happened, and Chad, George,
it
me and Chad really dialed in exactly how we were gonna apply that in those moments, and it came together.
Yeah, and from watching it outside looking in, it really does seem like for that particular match, and granted, that's obviously one to have this come into your favor, but it seemed like y'all's off the break shooting in that match was particularly solid. I'm pretty sure y'all won most of those breakouts.
Yes,
and
so
on this field, that really does dictate. I mean, this field may be more than a lot of others, where it's like if you gave up a body and didn't shoot one, like it's just tricky.
Yes, and we saw that in the finals as well. You guys got a lot of off the break shots in that finals game, and I think Saturday I was in the snake more. Sunday definitely got in there and was pressing it. Always, like I said, on these fields, you got to be pressing, you got to be orchestrating, you got to be putting the dots together, and it was a really fun layout. They've been crushing it with the layouts, the way the snake is, the way the middle is, the Doritos. Once you got out wide on that Dorito side, I was like, okay, watch out. Here they come,
That's why, honestly, it would have been such a great side for Fedorov. It was like Philly last year with the no Dorito corner, run and shoot deep around that thing, shoot someone on the run. And so it was definitely that's why I thought it was a huge, and there's no way to say it without sounding condescending. I don't fucking mean that. Obviously, you guys are a bunch of studs, but to not have Fedorov and have the prelims that you guys did, and then get to the finals, in my opinion, I thought was already like a major feat, right? Like backs against the wall. You have star players that are injured.
We arrive in we want dubs. You know this. We don't want second places, so we fell short. But we're stacked and ready to rock, dude. The team is fired up and hungry, and the whole pro circuit is. That's what's so cool about pro paintball right now, is there's just a really good energy coming out of the pro paintball circuit. There's a lot of pans that are on the fryers and people working hard and turning out ideas and turning out a bunch of fun stuff, which is what you want. That's what you want in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool where the level is now, and really what that is from is from teams and players like ourselves pushing the boundaries on how good we really can be. And when you have a group of people doing that, it's forcing everyone to fucking catch up, And then when other people catch up, it creates a new opportunity for the elite to find new ways to improve the level, and it's really pretty interesting to see it at this point in time, because everybody's so good,
Yeah. This reminds me today, my son, when I got home, he was like, good job, Dad, love you and everything. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. And he was like, you did good. I was like, yeah, good is good until good is great. Don't forget that. You know what I mean? Like,
damn,
you got to keep pressing.
Yeah, baby.
There's no stopping to the growth. So good is good until good is great. And you got to keep moving, and brand new opportunities, brand new things that you got to be pressing for,
Yeah. Well, you played stellar, Tyler. I'm still kind of upset. This is, The second time we played, and you shot me in the final match. I don't think I got a shot on you. God damn it. So as far as like the PTG Discord goes, Tyler's up 1. I'm 0.
Yeah, right. No, you guys,
Excuse our
you
language.
played very well. Obviously, you won the tournament, and congratulations to you and the entire organization. Everything you guys are doing in paintball, and we're, like I said, we're coming for you. We're nipping at your heels, and we're hungry, and it's exciting to just have such fun energy in pro paintball. It's a great time to be playing paintball.
Ty, can we assess impact a little bit right now? That's something that a lot of that's also been blown up in the Discord. It's all over the internet. Is like, how can that roster not get back to the finals?
They're going to be. I mean, it's not. That's not even.
Time.
Yeah, they're just.
What's the adjustment they need to make? Like, what did you get? You're the one that beat them. Your team is the one that beat them. You know, what do you think it is as an organization they did wrong, right? Like, this is valuable for any team or player that's on a team that's listening to gain this kind of information. What do you think they did wrong? Did they just get outplayed, or do you think maybe it was coaching? Do you think it was personnel thing?
Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but my sound cut out on that question.
Yeah, we got you. I got you. You got me?
All right.
Arch, can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear. I got both y'all.
Ty, you good?
I can't hear you.
Oh, he's bowing out of the question. He's bowing out of the question. Hold on. I'll shoot him a text. I don't know.
Have y'all had this happen before?
We're breaking up. 1 second, guys. Anyway, back from the technical difficulties. Ty, I think we were talking about, what you think, as far as impact, what they are struggling with, like what they're, that talented of a roster. Why are they not able to put it together right now? Like, any insight? Is it, what do you think maybe that is?
I think they're just fine. I mean, it's a game, just like any other game. Sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't. There's probably intricacies that I don't know about that maybe, I don't know. I don't know, but I know that just like in any sport, you have your highs and your lows, and you got to hammer out all those details. Like we said, say there's 10 of them. You got to get as close to having 10 of those hammered out and knowing all the details as you can when you show up to play those paintball games. There's a lot of variables that go into playing top level paintball. And I know that those guys are going to get it done. They got a great roster, great organization, and they all work really hard. Sometimes, every dog has their day, and they just got to keep pressing forward and giving it everything they got.
Yeah, that's a politically correct answer, but no, you are right. They do have everything they need. I'm sure they'll get there. It was just, again, for the paintball world and at that event, I think people were shocked to not see them do better. Let's talk about some of the younger teams, the newer teams that did well, though. The Thunder Bears. They did fantastic.
Yeah.
The Thunder and the Lightning is definitely a song we were jamming the whole time. But what's your sentiment on, the second tier of teams right now?
Dude, first of all, I love Thunder. That team is amazing. We got to practice against them out at X Factor, and just great times. Some of the OG Naughty Dogs are on that team, which is amazing. You got Map, Corey, you got the boys. They're all having a great time, and they enjoy the process of paintball. You can really see that. They enjoy, the time that they have together, and they have just such a great organization. And there's a bunch of teams that are hungry for that top spot that are enjoying that process. And we can see that really happening in the current landscape of pro paintball, which is really cool. You don't have, every game you're like, oh, we got a game, everyone is like, okay, we got games here. Maybe, 5 to 10 years ago, there was more of a cornered market of the top tier. And I think that's starting to level out a little bit more. You're seeing really high productivity from a wide variety of these pro teams. and the organizations are having fun with that process, and it's showing out there on the paintball field.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, like maybe even just 3-4 years ago, there was really only about 5 or 6 teams that were legitimate contenders every event. And now it's probably closer to 9. And on top of that, like a few years ago from like 7 to 10, there was like quite a stark difference in the talent. But like now from 7 to like 15, it can beat any team in the league, on the right day and the right layout or just, the right circumstance. We see upsets all the time now. So definitely good spot for those middle tier teams right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always say, man, they all got markers. Every one of those players has a marker in their hand, and they're ready to play out there. It's like, don't ever take anybody lightly on any day at any time when you're playing paintball, because they all have markers.
Yeah. All right, guys. We have Kyle Spicka. He's ready for us to call him in. So give me 1 second. He wants to join the conversation. Let's see where this guy's at.
Hello?
There he is.
Spicka.
What up, dude?
What up, boys?
Oh,
what up, Kyle?
Live on PTG.
PTG, play the game, baby.
Dude, is this the Spic from Spick and Span Show?
From Spick and Span Show, live in the flesh.
There we go.
Live on YouTube, Tuesdays, 4 p.m.
Live on YouTube. Dude, that was actually so funny. I think we were like 0.4 in the finals.
Oh, yeah, and Ryan just said it.
So
he was mic'd up.
Yeah, but it was just me and him walking out to the gate. Like no one else was around, and so I thought he was talking to me. Right? He said, I was walking ahead of him, and I hear, yeah, tune into the Spick and Span Show live Tuesdays at 4 p.m. on YouTube. And I looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're about to play.
Yeah, like, why would you say that to me?
He was mic'd up, so he's like fully selling the whole thing. I'm like, all right, I guess
even when we were confident. Even when we were on, we commentated a game. I think it was on Friday, and at the end of the game, he's like, and this game was brought to you by the Spick and Span Show. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was brought to you by Ghost Sports.
That's actually great, dude. That's amazing. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. It was brought to you by the Spick and Span Show. Oh, man. Kyle, dude, how does it feel to be back?
It feels amazing, obviously,
Yeah.
Come back, man. Surreal, come back, see, like, get to meet new faces and old faces and guys that, like Archie that I've played with before in Europe. So it's an amazing experience,
Yeah.
I mean, just such a dominant performance too, like all across the board, comebacks. It was a cool experience. Like even from just jump right into practices and then to the event, it couldn't be happier right now.
Yeah, that's actually an important thing we didn't talk about because I was concerned coming in. We didn't have great practices.
Yeah.
Our weekend one, we had Aftermath. They're a great sparring partner. Never complain about that. If we're not in Aftermath's bracket, we always play them weekend one. They just give you a really good look. You play a lot of points. You're going to walk away from that weekend feeling like you benefited. Weekend two, we had Uprising and DMG, and it just felt a little too easy. In all honesty, I didn't feel like we got tested. So that was a little bit of a concern going into the event, is that we hadn't been totally tested. We always talk about this, Tyler, on the show. Archie, I know you believe in this as well. Like, if you're not getting beat up in practice and able to assess like what could or might happen to you, that's not to your advantage. You want to get beat up. If you have an intelligent team and you have a team that's thoughtful and really does the work and cares about figuring out why things didn't work, you want to get your ass kicked at practice, because that's how you're going to solve the most solutions. But
it's funny though, in the moment, because you don't like it. You're like,
oh yeah, you never like
it.
You're like screaming at each other. Yeah, in the moment you're like, this, what are we doing wrong? Like, this is terrible. And then, it's hard to like look through the silver lining and be like, this is actually really beneficial for us.
Totally.
Right. Yeah, I mean, before the first event, we had that practice with Impact, and I wouldn't say they kicked our ass, but they definitely showed us what we needed to be showed, and then went into the tournament
Right.
and did our thing. And so, yeah, it's like if you play teams that maybe you don't get a lot of looks on, or you're just really dominant in the practice, it does kind of limit your, what you're able to take away from it.
Mhm.
I just want to know what type of cheat codes that Archie had, because this guy had a force field around him. I don't understand it. I'm like running my ass off to get to a spot, and I get shot off the break like every other point, and this guy's just going around the corner, running out to the corners, half speed, just running through lanes, shooting 4 people. I don't get it.
We were talking about that. I was literally just talking about that. It was like it's so funny, Archie. You literally went over to that snake side and said, "Nah, this is the pace we're gonna play. Like it's going at this level." I don't know what you guys are trying so hard over here for.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was just, and again, I feel like I'm just trying to do my best for every given circumstance this season. Really focus on what I can create out there, and that includes doing things a little bit differently, or my take on them. And this particular weekend, for some reason, I felt like I was able to kind of put a little force field around myself and put myself really connected to the moments to make really good, well-timed decisions. And thankfully, my shot was, hitting when it needed to.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I remember Archie gave a little speech on Saturday night going into Sunday, and it was like a pretty powerful speech. And we got back to the room because we were rooming together, and he had was about to just get on a phone call with his girlfriend. We called him, but I was like getting into. I'm like, dude, you need to give those more. Like that was so powerful, but it was interesting because when he was telling that, talking to the guys, I could see even people that don't really love like that. I guess you could call like, just motivational, like woo woo speeches. Some guys don't need that. But I could see in everyone's eyes, they're just like so bought in. Like, and I felt right there, I was like, yeah, we got this. So, and I'm telling Archie, like, dude, you got to speak from the heart more like that because it was powerful.
That's a special thing about this team, right? The Dynasty is a team full of leaders. It's not a traditional team where you have like the one leader and you can point to a lot of teams where like who the leader is. Dynasty is like truly, obviously everyone always says it's a democracy. Okay, that's fine. Not always. Sometimes certain people get their way more than others, but the team itself, the players can all go on other teams and be leaders of those teams. And
Sure.
That could be your greatest benefit or one of your biggest enemies as well. And so finding a way to blend that is really where the magic comes from. And I mean, in all honesty, there was a lot of struggle in that I felt leading up to this event with us. I felt quite a few of us had different ways that we wanted to play the field. I felt like we struggled coming to an agreement on certain things. And it brings me back anytime we go into an event where we're like not agreeing on how to play a field. Kyle, I remember the story you tell of when you guys went in, I think it was 2014 going into Riverside.
Yeah.
It was like nobody could agree on it.
Tyler probably remembers.
Yeah, Tyler remembers. And Dynasty got relegated.
Oh shit. Damn.
We're wearing those football jerseys.
Football jerseys.
Yeah, with the numbers on the front.
Yeah.
No one could decide. A meeting before the relegation match, people were confused about how we were going to play. And I knew instantly, I was like, oh, we're done.
Dude, like, I feel like that was going on a little bit this event as well. And, luckily we did find a way to come together as Sunday went on. And, I think Kyle's right, Archie. I think a lot of that was like your speech Saturday night. You took the ball and you said, you know what? I got the ball this time. It's my turn to lead the group. And it's powerful to have a team full of individuals that can do that. And the team's going to respect the ones that do that. And it just really creates that much more of a strength for the team.
Yeah. And also on top of that too, like, and I think I spoke to a few of you guys individually. Marcelo, I know I talked to Archie personally about this. Blake, and just being like, hey, I'm a pretty strong-minded, outspoken individual, and I think I have a pretty high Q level of the game, and I didn't want to come in and root and like ruffle feathers or shake up anything that you guys had already, like, you guys are, Dynasty's been so successful, the last 2 tournaments. It's like I didn't want to come in and mess anything up, and I remember telling all of you guys that, like, hey, if you feel like I'm ever like overstepping, or if I'm like causing a risk in what you guys are doing, like, tell me, because I don't want to do that. I want to help, but if it's ever like create anything. So after we won, I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't come in and was like the opposite, the curse.
Dude, you're such a boost, Kyle. I can't wait to just continue to have our practices and tournaments and everything that we're gonna do. You're the fucking man, dude. And you have such an incredible coffee addiction. I know that I'm never gonna not have my Starbucks.
Every morning, dude.
Yeah.
Like clockwork. Because I need my coffee.
Dude, Tyler, these guys give me such a hard time about drinking coffee.
Hey, one time when Brandon Short and Kyle would let me crash on their couch all the time. Shout out to Bruno, the bulldog.
Yeah.
Best bulldog ever. And Kyle made me a cup of his coffee one morning, and I drank that cup of coffee on the way to practice.
It was the bulletproof coffee.
Oh, did it just go right through you?
I was spinning in the car.
Wait, didn't we have to pull over for you?
Yeah, I threw up. I said, pull over.
Yeah, he threw up on the way to practice.
Yeah, it was like nitro fuel, dude. I could not believe that he was taking that every day. I was like, oh my God. But hey, it gets you going. It gets you going. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Nitro.
Man.
Dude, we saw a baby mantis at Shake Shack in the trail.
You saw Theo? You saw Theo out there?
No.
Little baby mantis.
I sent Tyler the picture mid tournament. Nice. I was like a praying mantis the size of your fingernail.
They're everywhere.
That Shake Shack was the rudest Shake Shack. It was one of the rudest restaurants I've ever been to.
You had to bring it up, Kyle.
So damn mean. So mean.
Tyler, me and you and Dalton would have had MMA burrito round 2 there.
MMA burrito.
Dude, Shake Shack, they know how to make some burgers.
They do.
Great burgers there.
They also know how to make some enemies.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys already talked about that, but like, Tyler, what do you guys think was like difficult with that final match for you? Like, or like, where do you think like the struggle was, or like what wasn't connecting that you guys needed to do?
That's a really good question. You guys are doing a really good job of shooting us off the break. And like I said, every dog has their day. You guys definitely performed very well and had a great showing, and we just got to work harder. That's all there is to it. You got to work harder and come correct.
Ty with the damn PG answers.
Well,
give us some juice, Ty.
Dude,
there's with something.
No, but like,
with
all
give
due
us
respect,
give us the truth.
Yeah, but in all reality, like, and granted, that match could have gone a million different ways. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say that any of us were expecting it to go like that, but especially when your team is getting shot off the break a lot, and if you're not getting those kills too, sometimes that's like just totally can deflate everything, and it's tough to fight.
That's how the Russians have built their, like, when Russians go and dismantle a team, that's how they do it.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
I mean, you, Archie, I think you were the main one that said this too at the beginning of the tournament. It's like, ultimately, like, don't get down on yourselves, but like, if we don't shoot people off the break and we lose 1 or 2 guys off the break every point, we're going to lose a match. It doesn't matter who it is, from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, and we did cover that a little bit earlier. I was saying this field layout, for whatever reason, was just extra potent as far as being a body down. You're really at a big disadvantage because there's only so many guys that can watch certain lanes. And if you're down a body and you have to fill those spots, well, now you're taken away from a whole other part of the field. So you either can't attack or you can attack, but now you've got no eyes. So it's like now you're down a body and you have to play one of those scenarios almost damn near perfect in order for it to go your favor, And so that's why it's like, and yeah, I do remember, like, I knew early on in this field, like, if we're gonna win, we gotta connect off the break. And you know how it is, like, let's just say hypothetically we don't hit one of you guys, Tyler, early in one of those points, and y'all shoot one of us. I mean, that could easily happen on 1, 2, 3 of those points, and all of a sudden that match could have been completely different. But we capitalized early, and then you guys are kind of forced into a position, and we kind of were just, kind of doing target practice with our lanes in that game for whatever reason. We were just hitting them,
Yeah. And there's no excuses. Like, just because we lose a body off the break doesn't mean that we can't win. That's always definitely a possibility, but it is, if you're talking about percentages, that's 20%. Each one's 20%. There's 5 players on the field, and 20%, that's a lot of percentage. And it's just a game. It's a game. It's an amazing game. You go out there, you give it everything you got. Sometimes the chips go your way, sometimes they don't. And you just keep looking forward and working hard, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, especially when Archie has wall hacks somehow.
Yeah. Did we get any snake side? I don't know. We didn't shoot you off the break, Archie. I don't think.
I think the last point y'all did.
Was it the first?
Yeah, you did.
Not the first point.
No, that was against Revo.
It was the point you shot Archie off the break. The point after he told you guys that there's still time left in the game.
Well, so actually, Marcelo, I didn't get shot. Actually, my goggles came up a little bit and they pulled me.
What?
Yeah, and the very last point of the match, I forgot what happened. Like, I was running and shooting to the like the money or the God bunker before the snake, and I guess when I was diving, I don't know, whatever, my goggle just lifted. I think it's because my do-rag was kind of wet, and so the foam, just slipped a little bit. My hormesis, whatever, head wrap.
Archie's been hitting leg day so much he doesn't realize his speed. His goggles popped off his head. He was going so fast.
Yeah, I didn't think they were gonna pull me out, but they did technically break the seal on my face. They didn't fall off. They just kind of scooted up on my forehead a little bit.
Oh, what a bust! That's so lame.
That's all good. Whatever. Yeah, I wasn't too mad.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're gonna see on Sunday. I saw that they were much more adamant about the back line of the field. I think they're going to be creating a different starting station that we might be seeing coming into play, possibly at the next one or World Cup. I think we might see a new start box. Yeah.
They're also looking to have yellow shell too, which is huge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things are in motion right now for good things for paintball. All of us are winners here. All of us are winners. Right? If you're in the pro league right now and if you're doing it at a high level, I think we're in a good position. I think paintball's in a good spot. And we're making some nice little changes and really trying to package this thing. Ty, we've been talking about this for a long time of how to package this thing the best that we can and put it in front of the masses. And I truly feel that the powers that be are trying to do that right now. So new start boxes. I'm curious to see. I haven't heard anything about that. Curious to see what that entails. I think the paint shell is bigger than we think because slow motion videos and all. You know what I will say? What did we do Sunday? We went to single deck, right?
Yeah.
We finally went to single deck. It's fantastic. I'm so excited we finally went to single deck. Why did we go to single deck? So that we can have more time to tell the story in between the points, right? To go back to replays and dissect the game. We need to do a better job of dissecting the game in between those points. I'm a little upset with some of the conversations that are being had in between those 2 points. Just going to go ahead and say it. I'm totally okay with saying it. Some of the conversation is total waste of time. If we're going to have 2 minutes, let's talk about high-level paintball stuff to explain our game to the masses. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Richie Telford, he's always making jokes.
Good for him. Shout out to the Mo.
Shout out to Modesto. I love Rich. I really love Rich. Say that. He's but damn it, dude.
I want to say that that boxing where they were starting to get tricked out of the box was started from Aftermath, because I watched a lot of those guys. They were like full behind the box.
Yeah,
the game
they were.
started.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
really?
Sure. Yeah, they would have 100%.
Yeah, it was obnoxiously behind. They both feet were outside the box. I think I saw TJ Danner doing it a bit too. But it was way out of the box, like more than I've seen at any other tournament. And then they would just take their first step in.
Yeah,
So,
I did think that was weird that got brought up to us in the finals, but like I don't think any of us were like legitimately behind that line.
No. So it got brought up. Yeah, I'm not gonna put anyone on blast. It got brought up Sunday morning though, and the coach that brought it up, the team they were playing against, got pulled for it on Sunday, and it was legitimate. It was legitimate, right? It got pointed out, and I love to see the refs take action when it's appropriate, but it got pointed out Sunday morning, and teams started to get penalized for it. Which, hey, look, the rules are the rules. You could start with 1 foot out of bounds, but you cannot shoot your gun until both feet are in bounds, and your first step needs to be in bounds. You have to be going in bounds, with your first step. So, hey, rules are rules. It's like a similar thing of like when teams start early, you point it out and they get pulled for it, but people ride the line out here.
Yeah. I did see, once I was like, you can't even, I'm starting in front of the box. So I'm like, there's a red line back here. They're like, yeah, okay. So this red line.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
it is like if you're shooting your gun and you're outside of the court, then definitely, because there might be shots back there that maybe aren't if you're a step forward.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely they cracked down, and from what I hear, there could be even a new way that they're going to design that so that you can still have make it a little bit easier on that starting station, because it does get pretty crammed up in there, going to get a good start.
Yeah.
So I think that that could be on the horizon. We'll see there.
What could you do though? Like,
yeah, I'm really interested to see how this comes out.
Build a 1 foot small net along the back line.
But what's different? How is that different than a start box?
No, it would be more like having the red line would be like the back to where it would allow you to be kind of on the side, but in bounds, or maybe, having a bunker that kind of facilitates that, something like that.
Oh, I see.
They should just make
I see what you mean.
They should just make the start box a bunker, and then you could start behind it. You just have to have your gun on it. You can play it. You can play it too.
What if there's one?
Hold on. Didn't they used to do that at the PSP where you all started behind that wall?
You didn't start behind the wall. No. You didn't start behind the wall.
I remember this. I remember it.
That was when you came out of the penalty box and it was the wall.
That was the
worst. You had your barrel condom on still.
You just had to come out of that fucking inflatable castle into like 17 guns. That was so bad. You just had to guess.
Yeah, you had to guess exactly. You couldn't see anything. That was the worst. That was the worst penalty box ever.
The worst that you would go in there for your boy's penalty.
That was the worst too. Yeah, exactly. What would be your penalty? Yeah, they would pull somebody else. That was miserable. Man, we've had some bad ideas.
Yeah, that would be like
puppets out there.
That'd be like in hockey, going up, just getting into a tussle with someone, and then your buddy has to like serve it.
Yeah, exactly.
See you later.
That's exactly what it was. It's crazy. I don't know why they did that.
That's funny. Yeah. I like that. That's a great move.
Guys, what can we do? Because we're kind of on this topic, Kyle. We were talking earlier about, Go Sports having a lot of the matches free on YouTube. Like, what can we be doing to help push Go Sports forward? I like, now's the time. To me, now's the time. We as pros are in a good spot to really help push this thing forward through social media, how things go viral these days, the excitement around first-person shooter type games. I think we're in a good spot. Like, what can paintball players across all levels be doing to help push this thing forward a little bit?
I mean, that's such a difficult thing. I mean, I honestly think I don't know the answer to like what needs like the ABC steps, but I just think it's like helping the game be grasped really fast, because the biggest problem I see in paintball is that no one can, and hands down, in my opinion, like the biggest fault is that no one can see the paintball.
Mm.
And in my opinion, like that's a huge problem because no one knows where people are shooting. They just see people like
Agreed.
getting shot out. Like the best action is when people get bunkered because you know for sure, like, oh yeah, like people that have played paintball like here and there, like, oh, that must have hurt. Like that's exciting for them. But
What if you played
honestly,
to where
like,
you can only eliminate somebody by bunkering them? That'd be
yeah,
kinda crazy.
yeah, that might be.
All right, guys, I'm out.
I think it's like it needs to, you know, we almost need to have like tracer paintballs that can be seen, like the all the lanes can be seen, you know.
Well, it sounds like they're working on that, dude. I think that is the sentiment is to make the lanes visible, not only for the video cameras, but also for the viewers watching, streaming, live, all the above.
I want to hear Archer's take on this because I know the conversations we've had, Archie. I know you've put a lot of thought into this, and I think you have a lot of good ideas.
Man,
What do you?
I don't know. I don't know that I have put a lot of thought into this because to me,
Dude, it's a really hard answer.
Right, it is, and also I play the game like the reasons that I play this game have nothing to do
No
with
pun
how
intended.
big this game. Yeah, right. Yeah, the reasons I play have nothing to do with how big this sport is. Right, I play it because it's endlessly complex, and I like the puzzle aspect of it in the sense that like it's just very difficult, right? But I think in that hurts the game for as far as like being easily digestible to a wide range audience, you know? So, and I would also even go as far to say is that like, you know, who's to say that the best format for paintball to just completely blow up is something that I'm even interested in. I'm not necessarily sure that's true. Because I kind of like the super complex kind of nature of it.
Yeah, you know, you just answered the question though, right there, right? Like the complexities of paintball, to me, we need to do a better job of explaining our game. That's all it is, because we all fell in love with it for a reason. And I know, I think that I have good taste. Maybe that's bias. Well, it's certainly biased, but I think I have good taste in things. And I think you do too, Archie. I think you do too, Tyler. I think you do too, Kyle. And we love this game for a reason. So we need to explain those reasons, period. It's not that difficult. Explain the reasons we love the game.
You know, sorry.
No, go ahead.
To cut you off. Marcel, like one thing Archie and I were talking about this weekend too, that I brought up is like, it's cool. It's definitely made it more difficult, but like, since the way the field layouts are now versus a big bunker, a center like focal point that blocks out half the field and turns the field into two pieces, you cannot really like, there's not just, you can have 4 guns that control the whole field. There's now like 6 or 7 or fucking 8 to 10 variables per tournament that it's like you have to pick and choose what you know, what's more important to you, what's the other team doing, what,
right,
you know. And it's like that I think is such an impeccable like new development in you know, in paintball, that it's like which variable do you choose depending on what the other team's doing, and that you know makes scouting important, that makes like how other teams are playing, like what their strengths, what their weaknesses are, and it's like, and then also knowing like where you're vulnerable, and like, okay, if I'm going to choose to shoot these certain zones, knowing your weakness in that point, and which has made the game really intricate, in my opinion.
Very true.
Agreed. Kyle, my brother, we love you. We got to let you go. We got to get Archie off here soon. We have a bunch of Discord questions for him, but thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us on PTG. I got to come on. I got to come join you guys on Spic and Span.
Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, 4 p.m. live on YouTube.
Ryan's going out of town for like 3 weeks, so I need help.
I know.
So maybe, I know you do your shows on Tuesday, but maybe you can do it a different day and help me.
Bro, the next 3 weeks, I'm toast. This is why we're doing this late Monday night one, because tomorrow I'm out of town. And then I leave next Tuesday for Australia. So we have to do our show next Monday. And then I come back on Monday and we're going to do a show Tuesday and I leave Wednesday for England. I'm totally tied in now. Our schedules got crazy. So I'm kind of toast. I don't think I'm going to be able to help you guys. We're hardly going to be able to get our shows in, which is a huge bust.
Okay. Well, maybe I got to fly to Tyler or to Archie.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's rock.
Later, Kyle. We love you, brother.
Love you, Kyle.
Later, dude.
All right. Later, boys.
Later, brother. Yeah, we got the GOAT show is going to be on June 27th.
Yep.
We'll have our monthly GOAT show. Can't wait
So
to see
what's the GOAT show?
There. It's the greatest of all time show.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Duh. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So the GOAT supporters, they're the GOAT members in the Discord. We do a private show once a month where they get to really interact and ask us questions, and it's kind of a live seminar type thing, little Q&A.
Okay.
It's like the Champs Club thing, right? It's
right.
like that. So
cool.
Champs Club thing once a month. We do it for the GOATs, and we have a good time in there, man. It's really fun. We do a bunch of giveaways. We give away a ton. I mean, dude, we've given away a shit ton of stuff. Jerseys, hormesis, barrel, you name it. We've given away so much stuff. It's insane. I feel like if we tallied up the actual value on that, it would be above 20 grand.
Oh, wow.
Depending on who you're selling to, I guess. But yeah, we've given away a ton of stuff.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
All right. Now that I'm aware of this, I'll try to see what I can kind of send you guys for a giveaway.
Oh, man.
Oh, that would be insane,
huge.
dude.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
We'll definitely get some project stuff y'all's way.
Cool.
Dang,
Hell yeah.
The community go crazy over that.
Perfect.
Awesome.
They're always talking about the project stuff. Oh, Archie, can we talk about those regulators that you had, or is that totally top secret? Because
Right. I've actually got one right here. I have the prototype.
Awesome.
Yeah. So this is like the first one we're coming out with. This is obviously like an unanode raw, right? But it's meant to look like a grenade,
which is great for TSA.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, it'd be a pretty small grenade, but no, it's a powerhouse regulator. Obviously, there's going to be the first ones we're doing are like a dust green and a polished gold. So I've already seen the dust green ones. We've teased them on our on our Instagram account and stuff already. They look
in the Discord, awesome. Everybody was asking about those, and they were like, "Marcelo, what is that? Can you find out?" Yada yada yada. Right. Everyone is really stoked. So
we should have them in a few weeks, cool. and then we'll be coming out with some different colors as well. And then we have another design also that we haven't teased yet, coming in like maybe in a month or so. So we'll definitely when we've got them, you guys will be knowing.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. If you hop on the YouTube, you can check out, he was actually showing one off there. Pretty amazing stuff they're doing over there. And we've got quite a few questions in the PTG world chat. So I think we're going to start diving into those. Marsh, do you want to take the first one?
Yeah, for sure. All right. We got Alex Cooper. He says, Archie, is it a breath of fresh air being on a team other than X Factor? Obviously, you spent years with the boys in teal. What's it been like meshing with the boys in blue for a couple events now?
I mean, it has been, to be quite honest. And ultimately that's really why I chose to come over here. And it's always difficult because I mean, I made my name and built that team. I had a very large hand in every decision that was made over there for over a decade. So, it is kind of weird. And again, even if a year ago, if you would have told me that I wasn't going to finish my career on that team, I would have not really even considered that a thought. But at the same time, you gotta do what makes you happy. And if you feel like, maybe you're not getting the shake you want, or you're not enjoying yourself, or maybe just things are feeling a little heavier than you'd like. And, why wouldn't you investigate your options to make yourself happier? Right. And, thankfully, I had a pretty good feeling that I was going to fit in just nicely on this Dynasty crew. And obviously at this point, I mean, it's been pretty surreal to win, the last two big events here, and obviously playing a position that's new to me, for the most part. And it's been incredible. And I really couldn't have dreamed it up better. So I'm just really just trying to be in the moment, enjoy myself as much as possible, which thankfully has been pretty damn easy for the last, several months.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Alex Cooper, thank you for everything you do in PTG. We got Todd Boyer as well. He said, Archie, simple question: does style come before playing ability or after? Also, he was wondering about the Dynasty crew. You already went over that, but what's your take on that?
I'm a really strong believer in like feeling good about the way you whatever your style or your swag is,
Yeah.
can lend itself to give you some kind of extra creative, flow or juices when you're out there playing. So like, I don't know, to me,
Hell yeah, it does.
right. I've just always wanted to be like really intentional with every piece of equipment I've got. And really that's kind of how project started, was just like wanting to have a little extra, a little extra something on my gear that stands out, and that really is the basis for how project got started. But I've really believed that since the get go. I've always had like custom guns or really unique items that, nobody, you wouldn't see every day at the field. Right. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think it's like kind of a part of who I am out there playing. And I don't know if I was running like a bone stock setup and just wearing exactly what everybody else was. I mean, who knows how terrible I'd be at paintball.
Hey, Zeus. All right. We got RGZ. We definitely need to ask him, what do you do to mentally turn it on? What do you do to turn that switch on when you're on the field and when you're not?
Dude, so I personally, well, I don't think about like turning the switch on. I think about the switch always being on.
Yes.
I really strongly believe that everything is practice. And that means walking
How you
down
do
the
anything is
street.
how you do everything.
Yeah, dude. And I mean that.
The
You
fullest.
can take lessons from every little thing you do in your life. And if you really study everything, just try to understand as many things as possible. Because the more you understand a lot of different things, the better you will understand everything you do. And I think that's the most simple way to say it, but I am a student no matter what I'm doing, man. If I meet a contractor that I'm hiring to do some work for a property that I'm at, I'm like, hey, dude, so like, talk to me about what you're doing and why you're doing it that way, because I want to understand it. Because I know deep down that the better I understand that in some weird way, it's going to help me understand other things in my life better. And that will translate at some weird level to some sort of thought or the way a field is breaking down, right? It'll be just a little bit more in my bank that I can use as information to relate to and hopefully to make better decisions.
Absolutely,
Brilliant.
man. Yep. We got the GG Pit boss, Nate. When did you know you were going to play the snake during the tournament? Is that a position you are comfortable playing, or have you had to get used to it? Also, how did it feel finding out you won the Golden Barrel? And what is your opinion on the Dum Dum group?
So, well, I mean, obviously the first event, I didn't really think I would end up being like our snake attacker guy. But on Sunday, it kind of just ended up getting drawn up that way, and it was working. So, there's no, I mean, again, I'm going to do what's best for the team. So it worked out that way.
Absolutely.
For the second event, this one, obviously, I don't think in general the plan is for me to be that guy. But as things develop and you get reps and whatnot, and you kind of end up getting into that feel for how the field's playing and where we think we're strongest or whatever, it just kind of happened that way. But I would argue that, I knew that was a possibility, even at practices, but we're still trying to, make sure everybody's prepped everywhere. And then at the end of the day, whatever packages are working best, that's kind of what you go with, and for whatever reason, Ryan and I happen to be playing particularly well. And it just kind of worked out that way. I think what was the second part of that question, Marcelo?
Oh, just
that was Ty's question.
How it felt winning the Golden Barrel and your opinion
on the dum
on
dums. The dum dums are great. I love every single one of them, and I'm proud to say that I can get, because I understand things well. I can get down to the dum dum level. Whenever I want. I think they'd welcome me. As far as the Golden Barrel, I mean, honestly, it's really cool. I've got it right here.
there we go.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the second one I've won. And I definitely think it's really awesome that the league is doing it, and Carbon, obviously. And Bunker Kings, too, is with a $500 bonus. Like, that's pretty sick, But at the end of the day, we play team sport, and that's really ultimately what matters. Like, I would much rather have many more wins than, a bunch of these, personally. But yeah, it's a nice little bonus, and it's definitely a cool thing a talking point, right? And it gets kind of keep people excited about stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Totally.
it's definitely like a cool. At the end of the day, I consider it like a bonus,
Yeah. The more numbers we have on different things, the better for the game. Building stories and having those accolades, it's definitely something important to have in the pro ranks, and we hope to see a lot more of that moving forward as we build out these stories, in paintball. Absolutely.
100%. All right, the video. What made it click with Dynasty? What brought that love back, and what advice do you give to people looking to get that love back? That's a great question.
Yeah, that is. I may or may not have touched base on this and like on a previous episode with you guys a while ago, but about the middle of last year, I was really seriously getting to the point where I was considering not playing, and obviously it wasn't really like a feeling that I didn't want to play anymore, but it was more so that I wasn't enjoying myself as much as I wanted to for the effort I was putting in. And I had a really awesome conversation with Alex Frege. And, he kind of, and really the reason why I wanted his opinion was because he's played his entire career for one team. And he's a really intelligent human being and a really humble human being. And I really do respect him, quite a bit. And so I just kind of wanted to get his take a little bit on my circumstance. And, honestly, we had a great conversation, and it's funny. It was a long time ago now, so I don't really remember most of it. But after that conversation, I kind of started thinking about, what, maybe there is, time for me after X Factor. And obviously I'd played with a lot of the guys in Europe already, and that was such a dream of a year, of a season. I would actually argue that was my favorite season to date, was in Europe, not with my main team, and that ultimately playing with that team made me, it showed me what I was missing in X Factor, unfortunately. And I would argue if I didn't go play for that team, that maybe I wouldn't have kind of come to my conclusions about not being so unhappy on X Factor. But I'm glad all those things happened, and ultimately has led me to the moment we are right now. We're having this conversation, and I've been a part of a winning team for the last couple of events, and I've really, really enjoyed, kind of every second being on the Dynasty team.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh,
right.
Yes, it's been a pleasure.
We got. There we go. All right, so we got TNP for life. How did you keep your balance when you hit the snake bunker in the finals? He said he would have totally ate it.
Yeah. So, man, I actually thought that was in the Revo game, but I guess it wasn't. Trying to remember exactly what was going. I mean, honestly, I was trying to round a corner, I think, and then I think there was some paint coming in that I didn't suspect was coming, so I kind of had to do like a weird maneuver. And I kind of, whatever. I think I'm not that tall, so I got a low center of gravity, so that's probably the only reason why I was able to stay on my feet. But I mean, yeah, it definitely could have been a decent little spill. Thankfully, that did not happen.
I didn't even know that happened out there.
Yeah, it was when we were on our pit side. I don't remember which. It must have been like maybe the third point or something. But
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, he was just saying he would have. He doesn't have this the balance that you do. He would have gone down.
Yeah.
All right, I've got my last question. It's from the OG GOAT, Jay Stu. First off, you and Ryan have really put out fantastic products with Project PB. And as a community, we thank you for bringing more limited run products to us. For my question, is the goal at this point in the season to sweep the majors and win every single event? Would anything less at this point be a disappointment? I love watching history being made.
I mean, to me, I think for most teams, if you're asked what the goal is for the season, is to win the season championship, right? At the present moment, for me, I would say that the goal is to win the next event. I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself or ourselves and worry about something that's too far to worry about. If we're going to win all 4 events, it's going to start by winning Chicago. And so I don't even got to think about World Cup until we win Chicago. And up until Chicago, that's all I'm going to think about. I'm going to try to summon the sorcery, the magic, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to try to manifest that happening for us, no matter which way it happens, no matter how ugly it might be. I'm just going to do my best to make sure that we, at the end of the day, have a damn good chance for that to happen.
Yep. That's it. Being in the moment. And all right, this is my last question from Bortega 0073.
Bortega.
Archie, what was your first used paintball gun you got on BST forum like PB Nation? And what was your first ever paintball gun?
Okay, so the first ever gun I got was it was a Spider Semi. Didn't even have an expansion chamber. And I mean, to me, I think it shot just fine. And then after that, the first gun I bought on the internet was actually a really badass gun. It was an Adrenaline Angel LCD.
Ooh,
and it was a nickel finish. It was a badass gun.
Yeah.
I honestly, to this day, I wish I still had that gun, to be honest.
I know. I have one of those too, where I'm like, I wish I had that Angel that I had back in the day.
Yeah, I know. But every once in a while, you see those old guns floating on the like Drewby, Drew Templeton. He's got such an epic collection of like just awesome stunner old guns, and I'm just every time he posts pictures, I'm like, man, that's so cool. But but at the same time, like as much as I would love to cherish some old like items like that, I've got this thing where I really don't like holding on to things that I'm not using. Like. Mm-hmm. I want everything that I've got to be something that is really meaningful to me and isn't something I'm just holding on to for some weird purpose,
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, I don't have like a huge collection of guns, but I have some pretty nice ones.
Yeah. Like Iconic as well. He's got a massive collection.
Oh, right.
Of
that's right. Yeah.
paintball guns too. Yeah.
Guys, we're going to call Matty Marshall in for one question.
Matty Marshall.
All right.
One question.
Bring him down.
He just said he's surrounded by people right now on the plane. I don't care. We're calling.
Perfect.
Hopefully he answers. Come on, Matty. Do not answer. He just said 5 minutes.
What's the code?
Hi, you've reached Matt
Oh,
Marshall.
Matthew
I
Marshall.
my phone right now, but please leave me a message and I will give you a call.
We'll leave him a message.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
At the tone,
No,
please
we're leaving
record
a
your
message.
message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Listen, Mr. Marshall, this is PTG, and we know you're available.
Matty.
You just texted me. You're afraid because you just landed and there's people around you. The people want to hear from you. Listen, this is for Go Sports, for paintball, the NXL. We need you to call back. We need you to call back. So you better call back, Mr. Marshall. All righty. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
What's the question?
Well, I wanted to ask him what he thought about the event and your performance. Actually, I didn't even have a question. I was going to wing it. I just made it up right there. So, yeah, I was going to wing it. I wanted to get him on the line, and because he just landed. I hit him up earlier. He was going to join us, but he literally just now, he's like, I just landed. Can we hop in? But Matty's always fun to talk to. He's always good conversation. Just a well of knowledge.
Yeah, Matty's one of those guys that you can literally talk to him for an infinite amount of time, and he's still going to show you something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great
100%.
guy.
He's been such a massive influence in my life, in my whole career. From 18 years old, I would go and have lunches with him, and we would discuss, my next move and what I needed to do and how to do
Right.
certain things better. And he's just been a total, guide through my journey, which has been,
Yeah, that's you know
legendary guy.
that's really kind of cool and special that you were able to kind of call on
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
because for me,
absolutely.
I did not have like a guy to look up
No,
to that's been there and done it. It's
right.
like, and that's part of being in Texas too. It's like we kind of had to create or find our own path, right? And
Yeah.
when you've got somebody there can kind of show you the ropes a little bit, it's almost invaluable. You don't waste time doing things that you're when you've already shown another way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
absolutely.
pretty cool.
That's kind of
You
the whole
gotta
thing
have.
of Southern California, Tyler and I, well, in Northern California, but same, similar up there with Bob. Like we were really lucky from a young age to have all of these, paintball superstars, legends of the
Right.
game that were there and willing to help us and guide us and show us. But the other end of that is being receptive to it and the willingness to learn and soak in that information. It goes both ways.
Dude,
Mhm.
that is the one thing that thankfully, for whatever reason, I learned the most on when I was younger, like when I first was a teenager, I was playing with Addicted, a really brash group of guys. And dude, those guys were just mean, And then even after that, when I got on Dynasty, I mean, I remember, and I tell this story a lot, but I honestly believe that I ended up learning the most about being a really high end professional player from Alex Fraige, because when I was on Dynasty for my first stint, he wanted me to be more of a weapon. And at the time, I was a pretty conservative defensive style player. And I really took to heart what he had to say. And now I think, when I'm a weapon, I fuck people up, and I don't necessarily know that I would have evolved my game in that way had it not come from a person like him,
Yeah.
really serving it up to me.
Mhm.
Alex is the best, dude. He is he's one of the greatest people that I've ever met in my life. I truly mean that. Like you can't say enough good things about Alex, just who he is. We used to butt heads a lot in how to play the game and how to not how to play the game, but in like what he expected or how he would criticize me. Um, and I've kind of learned and opened up to accepting some of these things, and it's helped me tremendously. I've spoken
Yeah.
about it, on recent shows too. It's he's the Godfather, man. Alex is amazing, and seeing his love and passion for Dynasty and really, in the last 2 seasons, there was a lot of stuff that had happened, and to see what he was willing to do to make sure that just the team was going to have success and stay together is like, that's all that needs to be said. He's a fucking heart of gold, and truly, like, he's the captain of Dynasty for a reason. Ryan makes jokes that it's so he can go and give the speech, go to the safety speech, and all that kind of stuff. But Alex is the captain for a reason. He's Alex Fraige, and he's just a special individual. I've never met anybody like him.
Right. No, I mean, and that's basically how I feel about him, man. I mean, he's
Yeah.
one of those like real true, like, actually he's like one of those gems that you would only meet because of paintball, and
Totally.
it's just really interesting. But yeah, he's just a special human being.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He's an actual living wizard. That's why. He's like he's a master of his craft, and he's such a great artist as well. Like just like if you see the little doodles that he does, even just artistically, stylistically,
Oh
um
man.
just an amazing all-around person. Alex Fraige has the biggest heart of gold for
A
sure.
couple years ago, he sent me some doodles that he drew
Yeah.
of my VW bus and Quigley, and they
No
are
way.
just like the coolest. I just love them so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thoughtful. He just does thoughtful
yeah,
things.
right. I know,
Thoughtful things, dude.
super cool.
I just, man, love me some Eggman. Arch, dude. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, brother.
thank you guys.
Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about the casino last night.
You guys won. I didn't. There's not much else to say.
Wait, we were up. What do you mean? What happened?
No, I wasn't up. I just got back to even.
I thought you were up 200 at the blackjack table. We were down, and then I thought you got back to up.
Well, yeah. I mean, but I lost that at the craps table.
Oh, see, you play that stupid craps game. I told you that game shit.
No, dude.
I told you. Dude,
Oh, dude.
for everybody at home, Archie and Ryan are trying to tell me craps are the best odds in the casino. If you play, it's great.
Get them,
blah,
goats.
blah, blah, blah.
Get them. Let them know. Set them straight.
Listen, we go to the craps table. First of all, my argument was that, yeah, the best odds at the craps table are when you bet against the other players. So that sucks, right? Like, that's not even fun to do. Anyway, we go and I lost like $80 in 15 seconds, and I didn't even know how I lost it. I was like,
Matty Marshall.
Here's Matty Marshall. We'll get back to the story.
Love it.
Mr. Marshall.
What's up, champ?
Oh, we got you live here on PTG. We got Archie, we got Tyler, and now we got you.
Welcome, Matty.
What's up, Matty?
Tyler?
What's up, brother?
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Doing good.
Nice. I literally just got off the plane, and my voice is also shredded, so apologies if I sound like shit.
Yeah, Tyler and I before
we're
the
right
show,
there
we
with you.
We're like, hey, can we do one tonight? We're gonna be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Mondays out always sounds like a gargled barbed wire.
Paintball media team. Matty, is Go Sports now broadcasting the events live on YouTube for free for a certain amount of time? What's the deal there?
We've always actually done a little bit of that. Not always, but
yes.
I mean, it didn't just start happening. Yeah,
but there were Sunday matches. There were Sunday matches that were on YouTube this time.
In the morning, a couple in the morning. Because to be, if it's, if it's like, if we're starting at 8 o'clock in the morning on the Eastern time, it's 5 a.m. In California. So there's not really a shit ton of people watching super early in the morning. So yeah, we'll put a couple up there, just to try to reach out to a wider audience.
See, I love it. I didn't know that. I want us all to share it. Everybody here listening, I want us to share these YouTube games when they're live on there. I wasn't aware. So I think, we were talking about the community can really, if Go Sports is offering that for us, which is amazing, we should all do our part to make sure that we share it and make sure that we get as many eyes on it as possible.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll, next time for the next event, I'll make sure that we can connect and I'll talk to, everybody. And then once we figure out which ones we are going to release, for free, we'll get in contact, and then that way you guys can reach out to your community, and that way everyone will know. It's like, okay, well, at whatever such and such time for this game, try to push it out as the widest reach we possibly can get. And there'll be there's always a couple prelim, ones too. And then
typically Sunday we wouldn't do it, but like when you go to today at lunch, we went and had our post-event breakdown discussion about what went well and what didn't, and just like you guys have, everyone does this for everything that they work on and should. And we went to a brewery spot to get some nice food and a couple beers, and they give you a little taster of beer for free if you would like it. See if you like it. So it's the same principle.
Yeah, awesome. Matty, obviously, we're here to grow the thing, so yeah, make sure you let us know. But dude, what are your thoughts on the event? What
I think the rest of the league got some catching up to do, because you got Dynasty looks pretty good right now. I think a Mercy will win. I don't know. You guys look really strong. There's so many.
Yeah, but we almost lost to Revo. Revo should have beat us. Revo should have beat us.
But they didn't.
You're right.
But they didn't. They didn't beat you. You guys fought through all the bullshit that you had to fight through with, a ridiculous amount of penalties. And it just looks disastrous.
There were a bunch of them.
To be honest, while I was watching the beginning of that, in my mind, I was thinking, I'm like, wow, okay, well, Revo's going to win this game. This Dynasty is destined to get knocked out here. And this is going to put Revo into the finals for the first time ever.
And with the roster that they have, that's an awesome story, because, there's people that have left that team for, quote unquote, greener pastures, thinking that they weren't going to be as competitive as some of these other squads. Like Aftermath goes. I love Aftermath. I love Mike. I love the program. I think that they're going to be top 4 here pretty soon, or they've already been top 4. But I just see them being on Sunday and contending on a regular basis. But they really were disappointing at this one, and Rebel really stepped up. It's just, the moral of the story is that the story itself is getting incredibly compelling, and you really can't sleep on anyone. So but the fact that you guys did pull the win off after all that crazy bullshit that you had to fight through and that you brought upon yourselves, that you figured it out, you adjusted, started playing cleaner, and then bam, all of a sudden they couldn't stop you guys and they hit a brick wall again. So, and then you guys went on, and Heat was, I thought, pretty dialed. I thought we were going to see like a legendary back and forth, just fucking smash mouth crazy paintball game, and it just ended up being a lot to a little, and was kind of one of the more boring finals games. Not for you guys probably, but it's like we want to see close matches as a fan. But that's just how good you guys are right now. So, and then as we start having these like MVP discussions, and kind of start going through, and like before the finals game, I went down and talked to Todd and asked him his thoughts. Tyler, you were in the running for MVP. Ryan was in the. There's like multiple guys. Like you don't get to the finals without having multiple dudes in the running. Typically, it's almost always 3 or 4 guys that are in that conversation. But I went and talked to Todd. I went and talked to Skinny. Obviously, I talked to Rich. And then we had kind of discussed it a little bit. It's like, well, I mean, it was just so many good people that were just so many contributions. Dalton was in the running as well too. So it was just, dude. The rest of the league needs to work harder because you guys have won 4 fucking major events in a row. That's crazy.
It is.
Had basically one bad day of paintball. Dynasty's had one bad day of paintball in a year, and it just happened to they happened to catch it where it was bad enough that they can. Everyone else played well enough. The other teams played well enough that it cost you guys making that last Sunday on a strange moment with the blind layout. But yeah, it was impressive, dude. You guys look really, really, really good.
So, Matty, what is your read on that finals game? Like, what is your assessment of how that game went?
I mean, I'd have to go to give you I'm going off my memories of it as it's happening. Then, I mean, I'd have to go back and watch it again to have any sort of correct criticism. But it just, just standard paintball stuff was not going well for Heat. When you have a really good team like Heat, because I thought you guys were, you're in the right to be in the finals again, and then in my head before that matchup, and I still thought like, okay, on paper, because Dynasty did just fight back in a crazy moment, they should have lost that game for Rebel. Can't believe Rebel let them win that game. Okay, well, that was a lot of adversity, but you guys had to beat Impact. So that was impressive. I know you guys had also a tough road to get there. So I'm like, maybe it's Heat's time. Maybe Heat's going to win their second one, or it's been a year since you guys won the last one when you came on Team Tyler last year. But it just, you guys were getting shot on the break, and Dynasty was controlling the pace and the action of the game. It really feel like they had dialed it in, but you guys just really couldn't get any offense going, and too many deaths for no reason. Just really simple, faceless stuff. I mean, and then Dynasty just started putting points at them. You guys just didn't have an answer mid game. There was no kind of inner mental transition that caused you guys to play tighter, and then it just was kind of the similar story the whole time. In fact, with the finals MVP, when I was looking at the game, okay, well, who gets finals MVP? There was just such a wall of blue bodies across the field just doing really basic paintball. Like, when I say basic, I mean like no one's doing anything exotic. No one's like running a racket and stacking up 4-packs and like, it was just with gunfight wins, zone control, communication. And then so the one big move that, Blake had a pretty crucial 2-pack when the game was still at stake, because if Dynasty loses that moment, and you guys he puts that point on the board, that game could have been different. But other than that, there wasn't really like any gigantic statements out there that was like the biggest move and the most crucial moment. Yeah, it was just really good team paintball for Dynasty this weekend, man. It was like, it's really impressive because, you know, we were miking dudes up. So we've had a Dynasty guy mic'd up a lot and different guys. And just, you can hear a lot of the stuff that's being said right before the points are played, which a lot of people, which I'm really excited about that feature because people don't understand a lot of these like little tiny, minute little audibles that happen off the game plan that's already set based on which way dudes are like anyway. So just Dynasty just had a lot of things going really well for them this weekend.
Yeah, that was a really cool aspect that the viewer was able to capture through Go Sports, was having that mic'd up aspect. That was really cool.
I mean, what did it feel like for you, Tyler, in that game? I mean, we've all been in those. Everyone on this call has been in those final games. It just, you can't, just nothing seems to be going right. And then you go in the pit and you look at it and you're like, okay, we're down by, the game's close. Okay,
yeah,
now we're down by 2. Now we're down by 3. Now we're down by 4. Okay, we gotta go.
Yeah. It just starts with 1 point. You know, you gotta get one and get the energy going your way. We kind of dug into the nuts and bolts of it a little bit earlier. And you know, described essentially what was, you know, it was a great game. They played very well, and congratulations to them. And yeah, we got to be better. That's the sentiment. You know, you got to work harder.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just it's almost easier to take a loss that's that big, just because you can't go back to one specific moment and blame yourself for that. Like, oh well, if I had just won that one gunfight, but no, you know, so and so beat me, and then that was the turning to no. It's like, it was just a really good game for Dynasty, and that shit happens sometimes. You know, I mean, it's tough out here right now. This is the most competitive pro paintball has ever been. So yeah, man, it was a great event, man. I'm beat and I'm exhausted and my throat is shredded, but I'm super stoked that I got to be there to witness it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Awesome.
But the rest of the league really needs to step it up for sure, because the Dynasty looks really good. I know he's training super hard. And dude, the finals appearance was awesome. Again, you guys knocked out Impact. Yeah. But I mean, what a cool story for X Factor. I mean, there was just a ton. Yeah. I mean, you know, we're all going to be I'm going on Ryan's show tomorrow, Ryan and Spicka show tomorrow. I'm going to have a show later on this week.
There we go.
There's just a lot to talk about. It's cool, man. I mean, there's just so many, you know, like we could all spend, and I know you're wrapping your show up and I got to get home to my family, but you know, we could spend easily 2 hours just coming up with like players and teams and all these different stories. And so it's compelling. I mean, even at the bottom, it's like every single one of those bottom teams got better. DMG got better. The Ironman looked better. Uprising made Sunday. I mean, who's going to get relegated? I don't know. I mean,
Ironman looked good. Ironman, I'm really excited for Ironman.
Holy shit. Me too. I was shocked. I was like, okay, wow, way to not suck, guys.
Yeah.
Stop.
Maddie, Jesus. Hey, Maddie, we did talk at the event. We need to get you on the show very soon. I know Tyler, myself, Archie, we're all available to come on Go Sports, but we need to get you on PTG to have a full episode here soon. Talk about really the league and all the parity and Go Sports and what we're trying to do to take the next step. Obviously, with the acquisition from Bart, Go Sports is trying to make a big push. So let's connect here soon and have a full episode and give the listener some great content.
Yeah, super down, man. Love you guys. Again, congrats, Marcelo and Archie and Tyler. I mean, dude, I know it's the second place. It sucks. But,
hey, yeah, you know,
you personally played your ass off this weekend. Yeah, it was very impressive. You look really, really dialed. I mean, it looks like you've been putting the time in. You look as crisp as I've seen you.
Thanks, brother.
So, yeah, man, I can't wait to chop it up, talk shop with you guys here again soon.
Yes, awesome. Sir. And hey, happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day, Maddie.
Yep.
Thank you too, Tyler.
Thanks, brother. And thank you and the whole Go Sports crew and everybody who works so hard. You and Rich have a relentless job up there. So we're grateful for everything you bring to the community, and safe travels, bro.
And yeah, man, my pleasure. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Take it easy, Matty.
Bye, later, bro.
Brother.
All right. Peace, Arch. Bye.
All right, guys.
Oh, man.
Look, epic episode, epic conversation. Arch,
yes, sir.
Love you, dude.
Thank you guys, man.
Kid Arch, thank you so much, bro.
Appreciate it, Ty. We'll see you guys. We'll see you at the next one, Tyler and Marcelo. I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
All right.
Peace.
Take it easy.
All right, everybody, PTG fam, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys would like, you can head over to ptgpaintball.com. become a supporter of the show, get access to the Discord. You guys heard us talking about goats. Goats are the dopest community in the world. Getting to see all the goats at the last event was awesome. We see you guys with your goat hat, your goat shirt, cruising around. You guys are part of the family. Thank you guys so much. PTGpaintball.com. Click the Patreon link. Sign up at any level and get access to the Discord. But if you become a GOAT at just $35 a month, you get access to many more channels in the Discord. There is a whole learning section in there. We do monthly giveaways. You guys also get a private show once a month. Just Tyler and myself. It's a Q&A. It's awesome. It's epic. And we really hope to see you in there. The GOATs put in 10-man events at World Cup, all sorts of events. They do cool stuff. You don't want to miss out. So, become a GOAT as soon as possible. All right, everybody. As always, you know the drill. We will see you very soon.